One good reason why you might want to be on one of these plans is because of this right here, MOOP. That stands for maximum out-of-pocket. That means if you're having a really bad year, it's only going to get so bad. They're going to put a cap on things. You're not going to have runaway medical bills. Now, these plans typically come in two flavors. There's others, but the most common ones are an HMO and a PPO. And if y'all have had group health care before, group health coverage, you're familiar with those. HMO is managed care. It's the most managed care. They've got a local network of providers, and you need to work with their providers. If you go outside of the network, then you're on your own. You're going to have a primary care physician. You're going to get referrals to specialists through your primary care physician who acts as a gatekeeper. And these, because they are so tightly managed, usually have a pretty low maximum out of pocket. Typically, we see these in the $3,500 to $4,500 range. Sometimes they might go up to $7,000. But if you were to draw a bell curve of this, you're going to see most of them falling in the $3,500 to $4,500 range. That's pretty good protection, really. PPOs. It's a lot like an HMO. They have a network. And if you stay within their network, you're going to get the best deals. If you go outside of the network, you have that flexibility to do that, but it's going to cost you something to do that. And the trade-off for the freedom and flexibility that comes with a PPO is that they're going to take more of your money. Your maximum out-of-pocket is going to be higher. We typically see these in the $7,000 to $12,000 range. Again, those are not the official numbers, but if you did the bell curve, you're going to see most of them landing in the $7,000 to $12,000 range. Almost everything is on two tiers also. You're going to have the in-network tier, and then you're going to have the out-of-network tier. And it always costs more to be out of the network than it does in the network. If you go out of the network with a PPO, a lot of times you're going to have co-insurance of 40 to 50% of the cost of those services. Now, these plans, although you have no premium on the front end or a very low premium, some of them do have premiums, you pay on the back end. You pay as you go. You pay as you use them with out-of-pocket costs. And those out-of-pocket costs are constituted of deductibles. Everybody knows what a deductible is. Co-payments, small fee that you pay whenever you go to the doctor or something. And then co-insurance. That's the one that people usually aren't quite so familiar with. That means we're splitting the bill. That's like the example here. You go outside of the network and you're responsible for paying 40 to 50% of the bill. But they will collect this on the back end. This adds up. And so the example that I give to people about this is if I have an earache, seems like a simple matter. My wife says, go to the doctor. Okay, make an appointment, go to the doctor. Go to see my primary care physician, and it's going to cost me maybe nothing to see my primary care physician on one of these plans, maybe $20. It's not going to be very much. My primary care physician looks at it and says, I don't see anything. So I'm going to refer you to this specialist over here. And you know what? I'm going to refer you to this specialist over here also. Okay, so now I'm going to see two specialists. I've got two copays with them. And the specialists are a little bit higher, maybe $30, $35. So I go to this specialist over here. He looks at my ear and says, you know, I don't see anything. But an earache could be a sign of a tumor. I'd like to order some imaging. Well, guess what? I've got a copay for that procedure. And this specialist over here says, I don't see anything either. But, you know, it could be an infection. Bacterial infections are pretty easy for us to detect. Viral infections are a little bit harder. I would like to order a blood lab. I've got a copay for that procedure also. And then somebody's got to interpret all of that stuff. So every time the carousel goes around, someone is collecting more copays from me. And now my little earache is starting to get expensive. That's how that works.